Okay, I want to share with you where I have reinvested my money into my business, particularly with equipment. The goal in business is to make money and have profit, and at the end of the day, eventually you're tasked with what do I do with this little bit of surplus. As lawn care business owners, our job is to say, okay, we have this surplus of funds. What is the best allocation of these resources? How do I deploy this capital to get the maximum ROI, return on investment? We want to invest it, and we want the maximum return for that, okay? Now this video is going to focus on what I have done, the equipment that I have invested in that has had the biggest return for me. And we are going to make the assumption that you already have the marketing thing figured out, you already have some good technology like a good CRM. If you don't have leads coming in and marketing figured out and that type of thing, like, you just stop the video. There's no point in talking about you don't have money to invest. Like, there's a lot of videos I've done on my channel about getting that marketing wheel rolling. But assuming you have those boxes checked, you've got the marketing figured out, you've got the CRM, your technology figured out, you're organized and everything, and you do have a little bit of money left over. Okay, how do we take that money and reinvest it so it works for us? So if you go back and look at my old YouTube videos, oh my gosh, they were such cringe, right? But I started with a residential grade zero turn mower, a Hustler Raptor in particular. And I love that mower. It was great. It got us going. But I can tell you, whenever I had some surplus funds, the very first thing that I did was I reinvested it into a better mower. Now I saw an immediate impact in return on putting that money into better equipment. I was more productive, I was more comfortable, and now all of a sudden, not only was I not as fatigued at the end of the day, but I was able to do a much greater volume of work. You know, I went from doing like 8 lawns a day comfortably to like 12 lawns a day just because of the increased productivity of this mower. So if you got yourself a push mower, upgrade it to a 36-inch zero turn. If you got yourself a residential grade zero turn, upgrade it to a commercial mower, get yourself a bigger deck. You will see an immediate return on your money. That was the very, very first thing I did, and I immediately saw a return on that money. The next thing, and this is not particularly equipment, but it's important enough that I have to mention it because it was a big part of my business. I reinvested the money that I was earning back into an employee. So I said, hey, I'm doing like 12 lawns a day. You know, I'm busting it pretty good, but like with an employee, like, holy cow, we could do over 20 lawns a day pretty comfortably. So I took that leap of faith and I found somebody and I said, okay, you know, I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars. And it was one step back to take like 4 steps forward. And I said, wow, if one guy is great, let's add 2. So then I hired a second guy. And again, the returns, the investment, it was an upfront, quote, temporary setback, if you will. And that is exactly what reinvesting is, right? We are taking a step back to hopefully go forward. That is literally the definition of investing. You are giving up something. You're giving up some type of resource in hopes that it will come back to you in surplus. So again, while that was not equipment, it plays into number 3, the third thing that I invested into, which is more equipment. So I said, okay, well now I have this route and I got 2 full-time guys with me. We need another truck, we need another trailer, we need another mowing rig. So I took some money from the business, some cash, put a down payment on a truck and some more mowers and stuff. I said, okay, we're gonna build out another rig. And what happened? I took a step back in cash. Like, our cash went, bloop, it went down. Now I'm shelling out all this money for the equipment, for the guys, for the employees. But what happened was that marketing wheel, it kept rolling. We kept building our route density, but now this money that I have invested in these employees and in the secondary truck, okay, this thing is churning out a considerable amount of money for us every single week. That was a very, very good investment. So remember, number 1 was a much better mower, a commercial mower. Number 2 was investing in employees. Number 3 was investing in a new mowing setup for the employees to work out of. And then I said, well, what are we going to do next? And if you have followed my channel for any length of time, you know the direction that we headed. Now, I could have said, hey, I have figured out the mowing. We could double down on the mowing. I could do this again, hire more people. We could do more mowing. But frankly, I was realizing that there was more margin in other services in the green industry. Now, I want to just put a disclaimer out there that I would never get rid of the mowing. I love the recurring nature of the mowing, and it is, for me, it is peace of mind knowing that there is work on the books. But it's like, okay, if I want to grow the revenue for our company, I want to invest, I want to reinvest in my business. what is going to give me the biggest ROI? Is that another mowing rig? That was the question I had to answer. And the answer was no. We could do landscaping installations, and in particular sod installations, and get much higher returns off the effort that we put in compared to me investing in another mowing setup. Now, the mowing setup admittedly would have been a much easier, okay, set it and forget it. You know, you manage the employees, but I really wanted to try a different direction in our company. I had the mowing kind of set up, and I said, okay, we got our base hits coming in with the mowing. I mean, singles, an occasional double, singles, a walk. But then I said, holy cow, we are able to hit some triples and some home runs by adding in sod installations. So I didn't jump straight into heavy equipment. The next thing that I got was a dump trailer. Now, the dump trailer for us, it just opened a pile of doors. It sped us up on getting material out of the truck. It sped us up on those landscaping jobs where you're going to the dump and trying to unload material. It opened me up to delivering material, dumping topsoil for people. It allowed me to haul a large amount of mulch. It allowed me to haul lots of topsoil, rocks. I'm sorry, like, I don't want to be shoveling rocks out of a utility trailer. Let's get a dump trailer. Now, that dump trailer at the time was $8,500. And it was one of those things I mentioned in a previous video that I wrote a check for that. I didn't finance it. And it was one of those things that's like, you know, $8,500, like that's a lot of money. So again, that was a step back for me, but I just knew, I just had this feeling like, okay, I have $8,500. Are we really going backwards $8,500? No, we're not. Because I have an $8,500 asset that if I got to sell, the only loss that I'm going to take is the loss in depreciation on that asset. Side note is that trailers, they hold their value extremely well. And I want to just remind everybody that, look, just because you are trading your cash for an asset, equipment, if that is not just lost, you're literally trading. So look, I'm about to get off on a tangent here. There's another video that I did that explains exactly why it's okay to trade cash for assets. I'm gonna post that video here. I think you really need to watch that. But we invested in that dump trailer, and it really just started opening the door to landscaping for us. So whenever we started getting into landscaping, it was like, what do we need to invest in to make our job easier? And I invested recently, many of you know, in a mini skid steer. We got the Vermeer S925TX, and you know, I would like to go ahead and say that that was a very wise investment for us. Only time will tell, I guess, but I can tell you up front initially, it's like one of those things that you hit yourself in the head like, why did I wait so long to do this? We rented the equipment for 3 years to really figure out. I feel like now, man, I should have probably had this thing after about a year or so once I figured it out. But I'm just ultra conservative whenever I am investing in things, and I really think about it, sometimes to a fault, to be honest. But that mini skid, man, it has opened us up to pulling out shrubs, to doing grading work for people, to spreading out topsoil, to speeding up, and all those little jobs that just used to just take forever, and I would not want to go rent equipment for. Well, now all of a sudden, we are able to do, and we're able to just kill it because I have access to this equipment 24/7. Now, the biggest mistake that I see when people are reinvesting back into their business, it typically is something like this. I'm going to go get an F-250 truck or F-350 truck, jacked up, get it an $80,000 truck. I can speak into this because I did this, okay? This is a mistake for most people, okay? This is a major mistake. That is not a reinvestment into your business. You know, the $20,000 F-250 does the same thing that the $80,000 F-250 does. That is a major mistake. The next major mistake that I see people make is they will say, okay, we're going to do aeration, and they're going to go buy a $15,000 stand-on aerator. And then they're going to use that aerator 1 to 2 months out of the year in the spring and fall. And then that asset, it sits around for 10 months out of the year doing absolutely nothing. Whatever you are investing your money in, it has to be working for you wide open. We run our assets wide open, nonstop. Like, we want to run these things into the absolute dirt. we want to work them as hard as possible. If you are nervous about investing into equipment, I want to show you this video right here. This is the video you need to watch next that's going to tell you exactly why it's okay to invest in that new piece of equipment for your business.